Belshi Bits here, where I break down the complexities of Wilder World into manageable bits of information. Today I thought it would be fun to rank all the different opportunities within Wilder World. I don't want anyone to assume these are the best ways, but this is just some of the things that I think about whenever I'm looking at Wilder World, MEOW Chain, and Zero, as far as how I want to approach my portfolio or how I approach what the future might be within each one of these projects. But by no means am I saying that you have to follow this. I'm sure there's going to be some unpopular opinions as I go about making my opinions about everything. But again, I just want everyone to know that this is purely for entertainment and for fun. I just thought it would be something to do and to get people's feedback on where they think I went wrong and where they would make different rankings with each one of these. So you can see down here at the bottom, I have like 4 different avatar Trinity type of like assets. So just like Trinity land, Trinity avatars, a max chain Trinity, as well as a pure max chain Trinity. The different industries, and some of those industries are broken down. So I thought, why not? Let's rank it. Let's see where we end up. And you tell me if you agree or disagree. I just thought this would be kind of fun. So first off, let's just pick one of them. Let's just pick Wild. Let's pick Wild. And it's the main token for most people. And I think that's a good place to start. So myself, if I was going to pick where Wild should fall, at the moment, I would say here at A tier. We're kind of in this lull. There's not a lot of, hype around anything except for maybe some celebrity meme coins right now. Bitcoin is holding strong, and I think that's really good. Ethereum almost broke another all-time high, has come down a bit. But Wilder World is already up, I think, like 2.5 from where it was. I think it was around 20 cents at the beginning of the year, and now it's around 55 cents or so. It fluctuates. So right now, I still think it's a really good asset. Everything will be backed by Wild. And so you can't, a lot of people might put it up in the S tier, but I'm going to keep it here at A just because there's a lot of just speculation. And to be honest, it takes a lot of people to come in and to help make Wilder World move in the fact of it has to be big news. And there's a lot coming down that should make Wilder World like a Wild token move, but not necessarily combat or mining or anything that will make Wild move. But what I think would is whatever is shared in the SET, the GATE, and the Metropolis papers, which is basically the economic structure for Wilder World. That has a huge potential to make Wild move. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave it right now. As we go along, I might move it, but you'll kind of see why I kind of keep it right there. Moving along, let's pick something like, if we come down here and pick Wilder Beast Wolves, it's a Genesis asset. So for right now, I'm going to put it right here in the C column. Right now, there's no news about another beast drop coming. It is a Genesis asset, so it holds some great value. I think it is part of the Trinity land. Like it's one of the assets that counts within the Trinity land drop. So actually, I'm going to actually bump it up to B because of that. It's needed. A lot of people like the whole beast PFP, and they like the thought that it's a smaller collection. And so I'm going to put it for now right here. We might move some things around. Let's go into like crafts. Crafts is 501 NFTs. It's a smaller collection. It's hold its value basically right where it was at the time of where the cost of wild was. It cost about an ETH to mint a wilder craft, and it has dropped below that, but it usually holds pretty strong around that 1 ETH. But right now there's just not a lot of news, and it can be put into the Trinity land. It's usually not one that is purchased, and so that's why it just kind of sits there around the 1 ETH. So for now, let's maybe put it in the B tier. Moving on. Let's just pick Air Wild season 1 and 2. They have not made any noise whatsoever. There is some utility, which with the new release of Devlog 8 and that like gravity motion within the game, maybe there's going to be some kicks utility down the road when it comes to combat and things like that. So I don't know. But there's just not a lot of noise. There hasn't been really anything. So I'm going to just keep it down here in D. It's kind of quiet around them. It's not a Genesis asset. So even though they're really awesome, I'm going to leave it there. Let's go into, maybe let's just finish off all of the Trinities, where I think the Trinity things end up. So as far as Max Chain Trinity, I think the reason why I like Max Chain Trinity is because you get all the benefits that would come with any Trinity drop with a Max Chain, as well as they've announced a couple little perks by having a Max Chain. For instance, like land, you're going to have a greater chance of having a better parcel of land closer to like the city center of Little Meow. And so there's some extra perks to it, so that's really nice. But a max chain that isn't pure, so it basically has a wild card in it, you don't get all of the industry rewards based on where you put that wild card in to that max chain. So I'm just going to put it here in the B category. You kind of get introduced to a lot of things within Wilder World, but you don't touch every point. Which brings me to then the next point, which is like a pure chain, which the hardest thing to usually get in this is a crib. And so we'll talk about cribs in a little bit, but max chain, like a pure max chain, I think I would end up putting it up here in an A. That might be a unpopular opinion, but hear me out. So I go into, you have to understand, out of this pure, entertainment kind of ranking, I'm thinking of everything, right? Big picture. And I think a pure max chain, what you have is everything from a cribs down to a moto and a gen, which then allows you to get every Genesis rewards drop, as well as every industry reward drop. So you get that extra benefit of the industry rewards as well. And so if you have any question, if you're not really sure what that is, I've got videos that you can go watch about the Genesis Rewards program and the Trinity Rewards program that would be able to help you out. I even have videos about wheels and beasts and pals to help you understand a little bit better of what this is. I even have a video about like LP staking and the wild token. So there's a lot of information out there that if you want to better understand what some of these assets are, you can go and educate yourself and do your own research and kind of see for yourself. But moving on, that's kind of why I would put a pure max chain in there, because you touch so many facets of everything and you get the rewards from anything that drops. And so that's why I would put a pure max chain up higher. And so I kind of like it right there in the A column. The Trinity land. Actually, let's do Trinity avatars. I'm going to do Trinity avatars also here in the A column. The reason being is One, it's a lot easier to make a Trinity that qualifies you for the avatar drop, because PALs and motos are fairly cheap, as well as wheels, and even the beasts are dropping down some. And so it just makes it, there's not a better time that if you're interested, if it's something that you feel like you want to participate in, it's a great time to kind of get in. But the avatar drop, they look sick. If you go look at the devlog 8, you'll see, and I have a video where I talk through my different bits about what I really liked about the devlog. And if you want to go see that video, I've got it in my channel, so go take a look. But the avatar drop, I just think this is going to be a huge draw for casual people. There's going to be some really cool utility. I really love the live link. I've been really playing around in my mind the whole doing content creation with this avatar. I just think it would add a very fun and new, unique dynamic to content creation, as well as just personal identity. There'd probably be a little bit more freedom on my side to be maybe to kind of kick back and be silly and fun, because I'm typically a little bit more of a serious person. But there's people are going to be able to really create this like sense of identity within the metaverse. And so I just think it's going to create a lot of buzz because of the high quality that the avatars are going to be. And so not only do you get a Trinity, but you get qualified for these avatars, which will just add to an awesome portfolio if that's what you deem is good for you. But that's where I kind of leave that. And then Trinity Land, I'm actually going to put it up here in the S tier. And hear me out. The reason being is that it's never been easier to get yourself a Trinity. The prices have come down, but we do know that Wild is going to back everything within Wilder World, and we know that land is going to be a very like desired thing within the metaverse, even though there's the news about the other deeds and some other things about Yuga Labs and things that are kind of like, I don't know, putting a bad taste in people's mouths when it comes to, digital land and things like that. But Wilder World is in my opinion, a trustworthy team that is not hyping, gathering all this money, and then figuring out if they can do it. They're figuring out how to do it well, and then they're going to release the product. So it's not just this deed to this land that you pay $16,000 for, but then they're going to be giving it away for $20 or $50. I mean, it's ridiculous. They have really shot their community in the foot. That really made it possible for them to be able to even create they're not even creating the land. They're like selling off the land, and I don't know. There's a bunch of news. I can't keep up with it, but all I know is they really did a poor job of executing on what they were promising their community. And I think in the end, Wilder World is going to over-deliver and not under-deliver when it comes to land. So I'm really excited about that. And I think the main reason why I put it up here in the S tier is because right now it's a great time to be able to get a Trinity, be able to access all things, including an avatar. But you also get the opportunity to claim land, which will be backed by Wild. So basically, it'll be a new creative way to have Wild airdrop to you. And you're going to be able to, so it'll be infused. And if you want to just liquidate your Wild, you can take the Wild out of the land, and then you lose control of that land. And anyone that wants to put the, not necessarily the same amount of land, but whatever the land, quote unquote cost, what you do is you stake it within that land piece. And then at any time you can remove that liquidity, and the land then immediately becomes available to anyone else that wants that parcel of land. And so I think it's a really good, innovative way to be able to speculate and possibly invest inland with a safe way of, you know, retrieving that investment into it. So I think it's a really great way to invest within Wilder World. Personal opinion again, make a decision for yourself. It's a new, unique way. May not be something that you're interested in. But I know a lot of Wilders are pretty excited for this to come. We've been waiting for it for quite a while. So we'll keep moving on. That's like the Trinity. And so let's go into some of the industries. We'll go into the rest of Air Wilds, which is Season 0. I really like Season 0, and I think right now I would put it up in the B tier. It gets double staking rewards when that becomes available, but right now you just have the utility with it. It helps you fulfill a max chain, as well as it qualifies for like Trinities, any one of the Trinities, Trinity Land or Trinity avatars, fits in within the pure max chain, things like that. So I'm going to leave it there for now. And then we get into wheels. Just regular wheels, I think, is a really good opportunity. You're going to be able to have staking come in. It's actually going to be the first thing that comes. Now that I'm kind of looking at this list, I mean, I want to put it here, but then when I look at Will's Hideout, I definitely think Will's Hideout, you get double staking rewards. We know a basic amount. They kind of have a breakdown in one of the devlogs. I think it's devlog 2, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 1. I would definitely put it ahead of Wild, only because you gain Wild plus you have the asset. I mean, this is really hard. This is where things become. I mean, maybe what I would do. Maybe I would put this here, and this makes a lot of things maybe drop down. Maybe that's what we do. We're gonna drop this down a level, guys. I know. For now, we'll see how kind of things go. I feel like wills are just slightly better than the rest of these because you're gonna be able to stake them and you know, gain on them. Plus, you're going to be able to drive them within the world when the world opens up and it's available to be able to drive your wheels away. They're also updating each one of the wheels to fit more of the aesthetics of Wilder World, which is pretty amazing. They look sick. I think the wheels team is doing a great job. Even some of the skeptical people are really turning their opinions around, and they're really excited for what the team is delivering. So I think this is where we're going to leave things at the moment. And then rarity. Oh man, guys, I'm sorry. I know this is probably going to be one of those unpopular opinions, but I'm dropping as far as like rarity. Obviously, it's a wheels. So I mean, what am I really trying to mean here when it comes to rarity? I just think, like, does rarity really matter? I just don't think rarity really matters. Does it put it ahead of wheels? I actually don't. So maybe we'll put it on the same list, but I'm putting it behind regular wheels. I think the opportunity for a regular wheel to, for someone, you know, obviously, guys, this is all speculation. This is for fun and entertainment. I'm just throwing my thoughts and opinions out just based on kind of on the whim here. I think that the opportunity for the value of a regular floor wheel to increase in price, you would, as far as a percentage gain, you would probably get more back for just having a regular wheels than a water wheels rarity. But the hideout one, it's already kind of double the price of the floor, because you get double rewards. So it kind of fits within that. And so as the floor raises, typically the floor of hideouts will raise. But I just don't see the floor of rarity really fluctuating. People have kind of set their price for what they feel things are. And I don't really see them increasing. Most of the time, people decrease that in order to sell their rare vehicle. It's still much better than their regular wheels. I just don't see, if you go in now, get a rare wheel, that you're really going to gain more if that's what you're doing. But this is my opinion. I have spent more than the floor to buy assets because I personally think aesthetically they're cool. For instance, a Wambo, right? People feel like because of culture and because they love the look and they're fast cars, in their mind, when they're thinking about the deflationary time in a faster car, and it looks cool and it fits within the culture, like they're like, hey, I think I could sell a Wambo over other rare cars better, and so they find value in that. And I think that's great, and I would agree with them. I think that's awesome. But rarity as a whole, I just don't think there's a lot of value personally there. And so that's why I put it behind the regular wheels, and that's why I put Hideout ahead, because I just think the value personally kind of sits in those areas. And then Beast Waves. I'll be honest. I'm only going to put I'm going to put Beast Waves in front of Airwild Season 2. Even though Airwild Seasons 1 and 2 sell for more, I think there's a greater opportunity in a shorter period of time for that value to go up when people understand that you have to have one of each beast drop in order to qualify for the next one. And there's always fewer beasts in the next beast drop than the previous ones. And so you really aren't guaranteed it. You have a chance. And so typically people try to get 2 or 3 collections in order to guarantee themselves for the next one. Or they might get 2 or 3 and then they luck out and then they're already set for the next one and they don't have to try to pick it up. But the more rare these beasts become, the more that floor I think is going to kind of go up, except for the wolves, because the wolves are Genesis, and just Genesis assets are included in like Trinities and things like that. So I think the wolves there's going to be like this curve, right, where maybe like the next 2 or 3 are under wolves, but then the ones over that, because there's a fewer amount, will become more valuable. And so there's going to be this curve just based on quantities in that collection. Personal opinion, I could be wrong. Love to hear your opinion on what you think about the Beast collection, but that's kind of my thoughts right now. And then when it comes to pals, everyone that has seen my content knows that I am a huge fan of pals. I think it is the most speculative Genesis asset right now, the gens, because of what we understand about how it's connected to land, to resources, to like manufacturing and other things. Plus, you have to have a gens in order to get a being, which they haven't even announced about. So you would be able to get a being. And so I'll be honest. I think I'm going to put pals up here purely on speculation, because the economy's coming out first soon. We're going to hear about it. There's a lot of news between now and then that could affect pals. And so from a purely entertainment, speculative kind of thing, I'm thinking pals could be a very undervalued kind of thing. And so I'm going to put it there up in the S tier. I think pals are undervalued. There's not very many of them. It's a small collection, same as wolves. I think because they got it for free and they look like little round robots, maybe visually, aesthetically, people aren't really drawn to them. But I think once all the information comes out about pals, a lot of people, and about Gen specifically, a lot of people are going to take a double look and maybe consider putting more gens into their collection. I've kind of spoken about this in the past, but this is kind of where I kind of fall of gens. I'm going to put it up there in the S tier purely on speculation. And then cribs. This is, again, probably going to be an extremely unpopular opinion, but I'm putting it down here in the D. and hear me out. Come on. Okay, we're gonna move that over. I know I can already hear it from other Wilders. I can already feel it from the community. But hear me out. This is the reason why. One, if I recall, the team never really said anything that would make someone believe that they should sell a crib for 15 ETH. Is there only like 100 and something? There's not very many. It's a very small collection. But Airwild Season Zeros are even smaller collection than cribs. But yet, cribs have been selling for so much. And the more I like speculate about land and about the resource economy and the ability to create your own stuff, I understand that it's going to cost. I'm like, where is that cost going to fall, right? Like, where's the cost to create something like one of the cribs, something similar, right? Say someone like myself who has a max chain, a max chain with a wild card in it. Like, where does that fall? Where, like, well, I have a really good parcel of land at a really good place in the city, and I have a few gens, I have a collection, I have some wild to go. How much wild is it going to take to create a similar type of crib in my area? You know what I mean? On my land. So I just kind of speculate. I think it's great because I'm sure they're going to reward crib holders in some form or fashion. And it's an industry Genesis NFT. So we're going to be seeing things come down the line that will go through that industry. And I'm sure over time it was. But as far as now, there's like no news, no information. Who knows how long before it comes? It's already dropped. People have been buying cribs for 3 ETH compared to 15 plus ETH. And so it's just purely speculation. Now, I get it. Like, if you're really wanting to be in Wilder World fully and you want that pure chain, then I totally get it. Wild Pineapple DAO, we highly considered it at a time. It was something we almost pulled a trigger on. But ultimately, the one we were looking at got bought up, and we shifted our strategy and we went a different direction. We actually ended up getting Season 0, Airwild Season 0 kicks. And so we do have a pair of those. But as far as cribs, I just think they're overvalued right now based on the information we have. And I personally don't fit it into my strategy at the moment. And I think this is something that I could be really wrong on. I could be completely in left field, and other people will be ahead of this curve, and it'll work out really well for them. But for now, I'm going to put it in D, ahead of Wapes and ahead of Season 1 and 2, but it's going to sit there. I think everything above it, I feel very comfortable being better than cribs at the moment. As far as a wild card goes, I'm going to put a wild card probably up here in the B column, and I'm going to put it ahead of a Wilder Wills rarity, but maybe behind Wilder Wills. I'm trying to think, like, a lot of it would come down to what are the rewards going to be for Wills staking. That's really what, because a wild card can replace a Season 0 and a crib or a crib, right? But where is it really going to fall? Like, I'm like thinking like over a long period of time, like what else is going to come down? Putting it in, you might get a really good piece of land, might make it up for you because you might get like a 5 tier or 6 tier for when land drops. I think I have to put it ahead. Now, do I put it ahead of an Avatar? I can't do that. And I'll be honest, I'm actually, now that I'm looking at this, do I think Wild? Actually, I'm going to put that there. Do I put it up in the A column? I mean, a wild card can really help you out. And if you end up getting a really good piece of land and it has more wild involved, this is all speculation. We don't know how much wild is coming, and I don't really know. I just want to make that clear. Purely speculation. I'm just kind of wondering where it goes. I don't know. Like, what's the difference of putting it at the end or putting it at the beginning of one tier? Yeah, we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it there. All right, we're going to look at Zero World Domain ZNS. There's a lot of information really starting to cook up when it comes to Zero. They tweeted recently on who would like to be a part of the alpha and learning more, or like participating in seeing the new Zero. And so, I mean, typically I would have it probably down here. But to be honest, when it comes to that, there's a lot more news coming. There's going to be a lot more attention drawn to it. And I think it could, a lot more people could be minting more domains or utilizing their current domains in a better way. So then it has a better use case, kind of like the Wheels, right? Like the Wheels has the best use case right now, as far as it's going to have wheel staking, and there's already a product with racing. So that industry is kind of moving along a lot further, and World Domains, I think, is going to take a huge leap. And so, as far as like the value goes, it's backed. You stake MEOW, and based on that, I think. Ooh, again, it's always so hard with Wilder Wheels because I don't know how much you're going to get. I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to leave it behind the Wheels. And I think the Zero World Domains, that's a good spot for it right now, right behind the Wheels. That ZNS protocol is pretty cool. And I think once people really understand what you're going to be capable of doing and attaching websites to your domain and things like that, people are going to really start to create their brand and market more with their Zero domain. And so I'm excited to see. Plus your avatars and your passport and everything that goes to end up attaching to it, your ZBI, your ZNI, the Zodes. So many things you will need to have a world domain. And the more I talk, the more I'm like, you know what? I'm talking myself into moving this up. I really, I am. I think I'm gonna put it here, and I'm gonna show you why. I'm gonna put it right there. You know what? No, I'm putting it up here purely based on what's coming down the road, and you have to have a world domain attached to the vast majority of a lot of things you're going to be doing with ZBI and all that. And it's going to in order to get a world domain, you have to back it up with MEOW. So I'm going to put it right there. I actually feel really good about it being right there for now. So I'm super excited. Okay, single-sided staking, 11%. Is that better than hideouts? I am going to put it ahead of hideouts. Here's my reasoning. Hideouts, you're going to earn MEOW. What's the best thing you can do now that you've earned staking rewards from your hideout? I would collect, and once you get to a certain amount, why not try to stake it in the single-sided staking, or put it into the 3x liquidity pool, which I will put that up here ahead of everything. That triple reward increase on the liquidity pool, there is nothing right now that can beat that. As far as current unspeculative rewards, you get it. Start now. It's not too late. You can earn the rewards if that's what you think is good for you. For me personally, I thought it was a really good thing that I was already in the liquidity pool. And so to just kind of see your rewards triple, I mean, how can you not smile and do a little dance and say thank you to the Wilder World team? it was a blessing. And all of it's because I have a long-term outlook on all three of these projects: Wilder World, Zero, Meow Chain. And so I'm really excited about what's coming down. And I think it's no surprise that this is where I put the 3x liquidity pool. I just think it's a really good opportunity for anyone that believes in Wild World long term. But I'll leave it up to you to decide. There's a lot of people that disagree with me, and that's okay. To each their own, and I respect them, and I don't judge anyone for making a decision that's best for them. And this is purely speculative and for entertainment reasons. So let's just have some fun of it. For me, it's pretty fun to get triple rewards. So and then Meow. Okay, this again is going to be probably an unpopular opinion, but again, this is purely on my thoughts, my speculation, and what I think is coming down the road. And I'll be honest, I think it's an S tier asset, and I even think that it is ahead of 3x staking. Why? Because one, I think with mainnet alpha coming, with everything being built on top of Meow Chain, once people start to see the actual effect that Meow Chain has on like transactions and trading and other things like that, and they have a use case for it with Wilder World, people are going to really pay attention to that network, because it's not just for Wilder World. It is Zero and Meow Chain are building for any community, especially for the gaming community, to be able to come in, see what Wilder World can do, kind of change things up that fit best for their community and their game, and then be able to launch it on Meow Chain. And then that just means more and more people are using it. And so I think that Meow Chain, even in this short term, I truly believe it has great potential long term, but for the short term, I think it has probably the best chance. It's purely speculative. I could be completely wrong, but I feel really comfortable with putting it as the number one S tier asset out there that I think has some great potential. I could fall flat on my face in this, and you can take a screenshot and you can laugh at me later. But I feel really comfortable with this. I think that in the short term, it has the greatest potential. Long term, I think that 3x LP and the increase in where the wild token is going to go, that 3x LP is going to be hard to beat. But in the short term, I think once people kind of want to get in early and invest with Meow Chain, there could be a larger flow of interest to Meow Chain. But the team's going to have to kind of be really clear on what product is available, at what stage it's at, what we can expect coming down, and do more devlogs to explain the exciting things coming with Meow Chain and Zero in order for people to have more and more confidence. There was a spike back in, what was it, end of December into January when World Domains came out. A lot of people were excited. The coin tripled then, and then it went down, and now it's at like 2 cents. Or sorry, it went up to 7 cents, almost 8 cents, came down to 2 cents. Now it's like 0.023 cents. Yeah. So it's my opinion, and I know a lot of people won't agree with me, but I'm going purely based on speculation of what I see coming down the line. So there you have it, guys. Again, this is purely entertainment. I thought it'd just be really fun. I'm sure you disagree with me and you would move a lot of things around. I would love to hear from you in the comments, and you tell me where you think what should be the number one and what you think is the asset that you don't really pay attention to because there's not a lot of information coming out and you're not too excited about it. But this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing this. I enjoyed thinking about it. Honestly, on the daily, this kind of shifts and changes based on understanding and research I do and the speculation in my mind. That's why don't take this as any type of financial advice. This is, again, just for fun. We had some fun here. So I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. But don't forget that the best bits are the bits found in each one of you.